this now. It's the third and final day of the Kgalema Motlanthe Foundation's Inclusive Growth Summit. On Saturday, the conference dug deep into the ANC government and its leaders. Today, the conference is expected to map out the much-needed road to recovery. For more on this, I'm joined by senior reporter Aviwe Mtila, who has the details for us. Aviwe, a very good morning to you, sir. Let's just recap what happened at the conference on Saturday.
Well, it's been a bruising weekend for the African National-led government, ANC-led government, basically, where the difficult and tumultuous time that we're living in have been described. No words were spared in describing the current situation, especially over the last 25 years under democratic ANC. It has been described, for example, that prices have tripled since the year 2000, I beg your pardon, and we've had the highest poverty rate as well as the highest inequality in the world. Some of the unsettling truths that have been unearthed there in that conference. Of course, it's the third and final day today where we're expecting the road to recovery to be mapped, but it's not going to be easy. For example, we're told by former President Kgalema Motlanthe that we are on a downward spiral as we in bleak economic times, for example. But just to get an insight of what has been said on the second day, on Saturday, let's take a look at the insert that I put together.
Between 1995-2019, South African average GDP growth was the third lowest among G20 countries.
A bleak picture of the first 25 years of South Africa's democracy, and that's not even half of it.
And we all know about poverty and inequality. Relative to OECD countries, you can see highest poverty rate, highest inequality. Now, what's the future outlook going forward? Neither fiscal nor monetary authorities have presented any evidence that the current combination of fiscal austerity, a restrictive monetary policy, and a suite of supply-side measures would produce decent macroeconomic outcomes that will be different.
This conference dug deep into the ANC government and its leaders, with some speakers using biblical metaphors to describe the country's state.
They have no sense of national purpose whatsoever. And so ordinary South Africans are not naive. They know a scam when they see one. And so over 25 million of them don't vote. Instead, those who are sufficiently desperate and activated resort to violence to attract the attention of the elites. These are not only growing in number, but scale, and will continue to do so. I won't dwell on July last year because we should all know it was just the beginning.
The appropriate metaphor is one captured in Pharaoh's dreams in Genesis 41, wherein it says 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow them. Then all the abundance in Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will ravage the land. Our metaphor is ours has been 4 years of approximate bounty and 24 of famine, and more famine is to come.
Taking to the podium, Correctional Services Minister Ronald Lamola addressed his detractors who suggest he's using state resources to go after them.
Anyone who has got evidence that I have interfered with the work of the NPA, they can report me. I'm liable to be prosecuted, and if found guilty, it's a 10-year period. I therefore challenge anyone in this political silly season, in the ruling party in particular, where those that are called to account, they run behind conspiracies, that they are those that are directing the work of law enforcement agencies to arrest them. They've got sections that can help them. I can be arrested. The President of the Republic can be arrested. So anyone who does not do so, it's a conspirator, it's a liar, it's a fraudster.
On its third and final day, the Inclusive Growth Conference will map out the much-needed road to recovery. Aviwe Mtila, Drakensberg, KwaZulu-Natal.
Let's go back to our top story now, of course, before we let Aviwe go. Aviwe, of course, we are wanting to then, we are expecting, before we let you go, that there's going to be a lot of still bashing of the ANC, a lot of criticism of the ANC, and it's I think we would expect that they're going to speak about what is to happen later on today regarding the state capture report. Can we expect that?
Well, it is the road to recovery today. Mapping that out, as difficult as it is, in fact, as difficult as the inclusive forum itself has painted it out to be. So we're expecting the panels, for example, today to debate what can be done. We've heard, even from the former president, that it is a downward spiral that basically needs to be tackled with urgency. So we're expecting even it to be closed off by the provincial government, more importantly, the Premier giving the final words, as it's expected to close at around 11:20 today.
Okay, Aviwe, we'll leave you there for now. Thank you very much. We can, of course, expect more from you a little later on in the day. But of